Welcome back, deep divers, ready to explore another dimension of career conundrums.
Always game for a deep dive. What are we tackling today?
Today, we're plunging headfirst into the abyss of job rejections. We've all been there sending out applications into the void, hoping for a nibble, only to find our inboxes flooded with those dreaded thanks but no thanks emails. It's enough to make anyone question their worth.
Oh, absolutely. It can be brutal, and it's so easy to internalize those rejections. But a lot of the time, those rejections, they're not really about us.
That's exactly where we're going with this. We're dissecting those rejections, figuring out what we can actually learn from them, and most importantly, how to use them to propel us toward jobs we'll love, not just endure. We dug up some interesting perspectives on this, some articles, some career advice columns, the drill.
Sounds fascinating. What's the first nugget of wisdom we're diving into?
Well, they all say the same thing initially, right? Rejection is a learning opportunity. But, like, easier said than done when you're staring at another rejection email. Yeah.
Right. It's easy to get stuck in that negative spiral. But there's a way to shift your perspective. One thing that helped me was actually keeping track of my rejections, almost like a little career journal.
Ooh, tell me more about this rejection journal. How'd that work?
Well, I used a spreadsheet, but you could totally do it in a notebook or whatever works for you. Basically, I'd have a column for the company, the position, and then the reasons they gave for the rejection, if they gave any. Then, and this is key, I'd have another column for my own analysis, what I thought went well, what I could have done better.
So you're not just passively accepting their decision, you're actively trying to understand it, like from their side of the table almost.
Yeah. And what's cool is over time, I started noticing patterns. Like maybe I always fumbled on those behavioral questions or my resume wasn't really reflecting my skills accurately. Seeing those patterns, that's where the real learning happens. It points you towards areas you can work on.
So you're basically turning those rejections into a roadmap for improvement. Okay, that makes a ton of sense, but let's say you do find a pattern. How do you even begin to tackle it? Like if it's something big, like improve your interview skills, where do you even start with that?
Yeah, that's about as helpful as telling someone to just be confident, right?
Yeah.
The key is to break it down into smaller, manageable pieces.
Okay, so what's one of those pieces you think? What trips people up the most?
A lot of people underestimate the power of body language. Did you know there was this study by UCLA found that like over half of communication is actually nonverbal? So even if you're saying all the right things, your body language could be sending a totally different message.
Oh, wow, that's wild. So like what, just practice your power pose in the mirror every morning?
Uh-huh. Not quite. It's more about being aware. Are you making eye contact? Do you have good posture? Are you genuinely smiling? Those things make a world of difference.
Subtle, but so powerful. And you know what? This whole time I've been thinking about it from the job seeker side, but you're right, it's a two-way street. Interviews are also for us to assess if the company is the right fit for us.
100%. It's easy to forget that when you really want the job, but remembering that can actually make you a more confident, appealing candidate. Okay, let's say you've rocked the interview, sent the thank you note, and crickets, radio, silence.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the waiting game, the uncertainty, all of that?
Yeah, the waiting is the worst. That's where self-care comes in, right?
Yeah,
All the advice articles say that.
absolutely. But it doesn't have to be all bubble baths and face masks, although those are great too. For me, it's about celebrating the small wins in your job search.
Oh, I like that. What are some small wins in the job search world?
Seriously, anything. Did you finally update your resume? Win. Did you network with someone new in your field? Win. Did you drag yourself out of bed and put on pants today? Huge win.
Yeah. That's a good one, especially these days. Seriously, though, it's about shifting your perspective. Instead of dwelling on the rejections, you're celebrating the effort you're putting in. And that, I'm guessing, ties into the final big piece of advice. Persistence.
You nailed it. But it's not just about blindly firing off applications like a resume machine gun. It's about being strategic. Think of it like this. You've got this awesome, high-powered telescope that's you and your skills. Now it's about aiming that telescope at the right corner of the galaxy.
Instead of saying, I'll take any job in the Milky Way, you're getting specific about the constellations you want to explore.
Exactly. And hey, remember that rejection spreadsheet we talked about? It can actually help you refine your target too. Maybe you notice you're always drawn to a certain type of company or industry, or maybe you discover a specific role you never even considered before.
So if we put it all together, it sounds like job rejections, while they definitely sting, they can be incredibly valuable if you use them strategically.
Perfectly said. It's all about reframing those rejections, seeing them as stepping stones instead of roadblocks. Every no is truly just bringing you one step closer to a yes that truly aligns with your path.
So to all you job seekers out there feeling lost in the career cosmos, just remember, you've got this. It's a journey, for sure, with its fair share of cosmic dust and black holes. But with the right tools and the right mindset, you'll navigate it like a pro and reach your own personal career supernova.